So recent polls have Joe Biden reclaiming his front-runner status in Florida and surging in South Carolina. And at a town hall last night, he shared a really personal moment about living with loss. Take a look.
When my wife was killed and my daughter were killed and then my son died, I've only been able to deal with it by realizing they're part of my being. My son, Bo, is my soul. And what I found was I had to find purpose. It took a long time for me to get to the point to realize that that purpose is the thing that would save me. And it has. And every morning I get up and I say to myself, when I give you my word as a Biden, I hope he's proud of me.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Because the reverend that he was speaking to had just lost his son as well, I believe.
No, he lost his wife in the
His
massacre, in the South Carolina church massacre by the white supremacists.
Yeah.
I saw this last night and I started crying. And it's pretty long, like we just cut it, but this is Joe Biden at peak Biden. He has this way of empathizing with pain and people. He's almost like the anti-Mayor Pete. Nothing is scripted. He has this way of emoting that
I think he's more the anti-Donald Trump, don't you?
No, I actually think Donald Trump is a better politician when it comes to emotions than Pete is, but whatever. And I think when it comes to emotions, I think Mayor Pete, this is not about Mayor Pete, but he is leading right now in a Clemson poll by 18 points in South Carolina. He's also surging in Florida right now. And I think a lot of this has to do with Bernie saying nice things about Cuba and about dictators. And I think there's a lot of people that haven't taken that well. But if Joe Biden can stay in this lane and his campaign can keep him in this lane, there's a lot of uncertainty with the coronavirus and things that are going on. A statesman who has a lot of history and a lot of record in this country, it may be something that people are looking for.
It's interesting to me that religious people, some who are on Trump's team, like evangelicals, I don't really understand how they don't go with Biden, as opposed to somebody who slept with a porn star while his wife was having a baby. I don't get that. It's like,
Can I explain it?
Please.
Yeah, because I've never understood that
He has this line that I think is the most perfect line that he says, that it explains Trump better than any way I can. He says, they hate you, meaning the media and liberal people that judge, like, you know, redneck evangelicals in the middle of the country that people think are stupid and ignorant and whatever. And he said, I'm just in the way. Meaning they'll come for you and they'll come for your religion, they'll come for everything that you believe, but I'm in the way.
He's
I
in the way
think
of
it's
what?
the best way. He's in the way of leftists that want to change their life.
And
it's not
believe
that they necessarily believe that he's like the greatest guy and he's this like religious figure or anything like that. It's that they think that he's the person that's stopping the culture war from reaching them.
It's just so bizarre to me because if you are a person of faith, he is the antithesis of everything that you believe in.
Right.
Everything that is God-centered. He is the antithesis of a moral life. But let me say this about Joe Biden, because I saw that clip as well. And I thought Joe Biden was his strongest when he first announced, and he had that ad campaign that said that we are struggling for the soul of this country. We are fighting for the soul of this country. And I believe that a man like Joe Biden is the person that can change sort of the tenor of this country, of what we are going through, because he has that empathy. And I can't believe that we haven't seen more of that, Joe Biden.
Politically, don't the others have to sort of get out of the race to give Biden the votes at this point?
No. That's not the
people
American
just need
way.
to see this. They just need to see more.
I know,
of this.
but when
Well, Tom
Buttigieg
Steiner's in
had-
second
I don't know.
in South Carolina right now, and you know Bloomberg has actually, polling-wise, shown that Bloomberg has actually taken a lot.
he was great
from
on the
Biden.
town hall last night. Did you see that?
I didn't watch that. I didn't watch him.
He was
I watched,
very good when
Elizabeth
Elizabeth
Warren.
is not buzzing in his ear. He's really good.
He was quite good.
Yeah.
But if you're a Biden fan, he's hurting him. He's actually, Bloomberg is helping Bernie a lot. So it's like, I don't think you can force anybody to drop out, as what he has said many times.
Maybe Bloomberg
But I do
will
think
drop out.
historically, when you're coming in 6th and 7th and 5th, maybe you're not going to be president. Maybe it's okay to look for who is going to possibly be president and which lane you're in, moderate or socialist.
Well, I'm hoping somebody
Oh, thanks.
grabs Stacey Abrams and puts them
I'm sure
wherever.
someone will at
There's
some
the thing that Joe Biden has that people recognize is he's been through it.
Yeah.
They're not platitudes. He's lived everything he's talking about.
Yeah.
Those deaths were deep rooted in his body. That was his family. That's his son. So he can speak to that. He understands that, you know. And as far as, listen, there are a lot of people who are running that are probably really good, but this is what I want. when whoever gets in is going to want to change and do whatever they want to do. But we have to restore, like we have to put diplomats back. There's a lot of stuff that has to be restored first before you can now put a brand new thing on for everybody to get used to. So there's a lot of, so I think if you're trying to figure out what it is you want some restoration of your norm, you want a little money back on your taxes. You want to stop paying for everything. You want a little breathing space. I think, I want people who can say, hey, we're going over, we got it handled. I want people who can deal with the UN and say, this is where we're here to talk to these countries, and we will try to work it out. I want that.
But you also want someone who's you feel like empathizes with the American public and can lead you through a crisis.
Yeah.
And I do think even in that moment last night, Joe Biden, you see this character that is missing in our culture.
I want the soul of the country restored.
I think he would also
the soul of the
smarter
country.
people around him and not fire people because they're not sycophants.
Yeah.
Like little lapping dogs.
Well,
That's your favorite thing to do.
Yes.